Warning, if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. Barry, today we're going to talk about some moves that have been happening in the Premier League. We have some transfers that have already happened, some rumors that have happened, a new coach for Chelsea. You want to give us your nickname for him? You call like Maracas or something.
Oh, Maracas.
Maracas.
Do you know what they are? They're them things they show.
Yeah, that's it. Maracas.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that wasn't a nickname. I can't pronounce his fucking name. Well, how do you pronounce it?
I'm going to stick with Maracas. I like that way, but I don't want to say it. We're going to stick with Maracas.
You've got Maracas, you've got Snot.
Yeah.
You've got some nice, you've got some good managers.
We've got some good managers coming in. And then we also have an American Outlaw, Paul Franklin, coming on to join us a little bit later. He's going to help us.
See, Arteta, we could call him Artiti.
You could. We took a week off, but it is so good to be back with you, my friend.
Yeah, actually, I missed it. I had people texting me, you know, and
yeah.
I said, no, we're not doing one because it was a holiday weekend and what have you, and the EPL was just finishing, we were waiting for the Champions League, so we didn't do it, and I had people, well, I said, we haven't got one this week. Well, can you swear at me? It was like withdrawal symptoms. So I had to text people F off and F this and F that.
No, thank God that you texted me giving me shit because I felt weird not having you give me shit for a week. Yeah, it was bad. I was wondering. I was like, oh my God, no one's being hard on me right now. This is weird.
I'm becoming a cult.
Yeah. You're a famous man, Barry. You're a famous man. Yeah, by the way, I hope you all enjoyed the new setup we got. I hate that there's a Spurs sign above me, but that's okay.
Before we go any further,
this is the only time Spurs has been above
We've got a new trophy.
Yeah?
It's the Bridesmaids Trophy.
Why is it the Bridesmaids Trophy, Barry?
Well, you get to put it where it belongs.
Oh, God.
Always a bridesmaid, never the bride. So if you'd like to put that trophy up there, please, Ben.
Did you make one for Chelsea too, or are they just too low?
This is who came second. No, you nearly got a hold of the trophy, but you didn't.
Do you only make jokes for this when teams that finish above Chelsea too, or?
No, this is only who they finished second. And next year, if we finish second, we'll go there.
Yeah.
It's the bridesmaids
trophy. You don't have to worry.
Whoever finishes second.
You don't have to worry about that. You're not going to be up there high.
Oh, he didn't like that one, did he? Look.
Yeah, I can't lie. That is pretty good. I'll give you credit.
I've been planning that.
No, I can tell you put some work in. You had it covered for me for a while. That's good stuff.
I cut it. I stained the wood. I found that trophy online for $15.
That's not a bad deal.
But it's actually a good name. The Bridesmaids Trophy.
I get
Always
it.
a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Look,
You've won it 2 years on the spin. You're better than Man City.
Yeah, well, no, actually, that's kind of why we're not. Actually, is actually the whole point of that. But yeah, fair play. Well played to you. Good joke on that one. You got me there. But anyways, let's get back into the actual meat of the pod here. New manager.
I want to talk about stupid people.
Okay. Do you want to start with Chelsea, or do you have something else?
What, with the stupid people?
Yeah.
Well, that lead into that. There you go. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah.
No, it's just because someone said to me yesterday, "Oh, you're still here then?" No, I left 20 fucking minutes ago. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say to someone. You're still here then?
As you're physically right here?
Yeah. What's the matter? It's just you haven't left. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I remember I was talking about that. I was down the market once, and I'm working. This woman came up. I was selling melons for £1.50.
Yeah.
She came up and said, "Oh, will you take £1?" I said, "No, love, they've got to be £1.50. Well, they got them down the road for £1. I said, "Well, go down the road and buy one. But yours are better." How can the fucking argue with that? You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's why they cost $1.50.
No, you're right, love. Give me £1.
People are looking for the deals.
Fuck off.
All right, speaking of deals, I do want to talk about Maracas here. 5-year deal for Chelsea's new manager. Mm-hmm. They have not had a manager serve for more than 5 years since 1967 to 1974. So, personally,
I'm meant to answer that.
I was thinking if I was Maracas, I'd rent. All right, I would look to rent because I don't know how long it's going to be. How long do you think? Because even look, prime Jose Mourinho, and he's only 3 years at Chelsea.
Yeah. With all the young players they bought, they're saying, which if they stick to it, fine, it's a project.
They're looking to mimic.
They're looking at Arteta's, he did there.
Yes,
then you've got to stick with the bloke, no matter what.
So do you think that this will be? Because I feel like a lot of fans too would have been like, yes, we love the idea of sticking with the manager at Chelsea. Obviously, again, 1970s was the last time you had a manager for more than 5 years. But I feel like a lot of Chelsea fans wanted Pochettino to be that guy, right?
We did, but look, I didn't want him to leave. I thought they were doing good. I was looking forward to next season.
I agree.
If the man himself isn't getting on with the people he's working with, it's like I've got people at work here
Well,
maybe don't like me, then don't work if you don't.
The players got along so well.
I get it.
It's just the owner.
Players are players. Players are players, and they're used to having a manager every year or every 3 years. They know it's never going to last, so they adjust.
Or Mudryk has as many managers at Chelsea as he has Premier League goals at Chelsea, 5 and 5.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that like Chelsea are buying bad players, because I think that y'all are buying very talented players. I think that you just need someone to develop them, and it's so hard for a player to develop when you're constantly getting a new manager and new tactics and new strategies and new styles and everything, right?
You'd like to think they know what they're doing. I mean, they're billionaire and businessmen, but who the fuck knows? I mean, it's a new business, but we just got to wait until the season starts. I mean, having said that, I'm still looking forward to next season. Of
course.
And I didn't watch Leicester City enough to see how this fella plays or how the team plays.
He managed to win the league, almost bottled it, but then came back to win it.
And it was his first year as well. He did it in a year.
And he is a disciple of Pep, I believe. He is another Pep disciple.
And that's
Arteta.
how they're all going now, isn't it? I mean,
it's a treat.
Why would company get Bayern? Fuck, you say that. Bayern
Can
Munich.
you imagine falling that high? I wish I could fall that upwards in my career.
Yeah.
That would literally be like, I'm trying to think. It's like you literally get fired by like a USFL football team, and then the fucking Kansas City Chiefs come in and give you a full-time offer. It's like, how do you fall that high?
Talk about Chelsea taking Maracas on. I mean, I think Bayern Munich have taken more of a risk, don't you?
I think so too. I think Tuchel should have stayed. He's a proven manager, Champions League winner, league winner, experience.
Again,
players
they had
rate
a falling out as well.
Also,
so
he's for what it's worth, he's German as well. Understands the culture, understands the club a little bit more too.
I wouldn't have a German.
You wouldn't have a German?
No.
You know that Tuchel literally coached your club to a Champions League, right?
It's what?
You know that a German literally Tuchel, that man coached your club to a Champions
League.
He did. But you wouldn't have a German.
No, I was glad when he left. Oh, fuck off, Kraut.
I can't even start on that. You're
it's
so,
an English-German thing.
You're so
what can you
twisted up,
do?
you don't even know.
It's like me saying I love the French. I don't.
It's an absolute stray for the French.
Actually,
sorry to the French for catching that absolute stray from Barry.
We've got the Euros coming up. They've got the Euros all bubbling up.
Did you see? Actually, France's Olympic team is wow. It's coached by Thierry Henry. So I'm going to be rooting for them secondary to the USA at the Olympics. But they've got Barcola, they've got Euro. They get 2 players of any age of the Olympics. Lacazette is joining up with them.
I didn't see it. No, I didn't.
It is Zaire Emery from the PSG.
So they've won it, basically.
If France don't win this Olympics, maybe Brazil. I know they're flooded with talent too, and they have a very good Olympic track record. Actually, I don't think they qualified, but France is...
There's a Frenchman in town. He owns a company called Eurosource. The name's Eric.
Yeah?
And I met him years ago when he'd read in the paper the World Cup was coming. I forget which World Cup it was. And they said, you'll get everybody here. Said, we'll get this in. And he said, my brother was talking to the news people. And they said, then we'll get and they said, will you let the French in? I don't know why the newspapers.
That's a good question.
And my brother said, no, we'll let him in. He said, but we won't serve them. And this fella came the next week. He came up to me. He had a right word with me because he thought it was me that said it.
Serious.
And I've known him ever since. But I just made a bet with him about the Euros. I said I haven't spoken to him for a long time.
What's the bet?
So I just bet. I went Euros, $10 bet.
Who goes further, England or France?
Well, for a Frenchman, he got really cocky. He said, make it 20. I went, all right then, you fucking French bastard. Yeah, so we got a $20 bet.
Is it just who goes further between England and France?
No, I'll probably have to pay him, but anyway.
No, let's talk about England. What I want to get into this too. I wore this actually for you today. I
don't have one. I
wore an England. Maybe I'll let you wear it for the Euros. Who knows? But I want to talk about what you think is the best 11 that England can roll out for this year.
I mean, I'm looking at the midfield. You've got your Bellingham, you've got Foden, you've got
Rice, Shirley.
I mean, because I really don't watch games that much intensely to know which one's good at this position, this one would match. The fucking manager doesn't even know. This one will play good with this one. Who knows? Yeah. But, I mean, they got the players.
I think
no doubt they got the players.
I would obviously start Kane up front. I think that has to be... I would start Saka on the right. Probably Foden on the left, maybe Sterling. And then either Foden in the midfield with Rice and Bellingham either side if I start Sterling up there.
So Rice, is Rice meant to be the hard man or the tackler in midfield?
I think Rice is going to be that
Bellingham,
8.
I mean, he does, but he's not.
Bellingham plays a little more forward, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what, when I've listened to Bellingham, when I interview him, he seems a really nice kid.
I swear to God.
Absolutely.
No, he's got the media training of God himself. I swear. Every time he's on camera, it is the most perfect answer.
In fact, he got Jose Mourinho to get a photograph. He said, my mum's fancied you for years. I mean, that's good.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And his brother is probably going to get a Premier League move as well.
Is it Job?
Job. He plays at Sunderland right now. He might be getting some coattails of his brother's fame, but he's a good player too. So I think the Euros are going to be really interesting. Do you have any dark horse? Actually, funny enough, I looked at my my phone
the only
in
dark
between
horse
this.
it should have been for the last two. And I think they're getting two now. Is it Croatia? They
Really?
just seemed. Well, I'm not saying this time.
They're
I've not
great
watched
in
them.
tournaments. I will
Yeah,
agree.
they are. They got it, and you've still got Modric. I mean, he's there. He might not play 90 minutes.
Yeah, you probably can't do a whole 90 anymore. He's not
Well, you
even
don't need to
starting
do
from-
90 when you're with Croatia. You need 120. It's always
Yeah,
it's
you're
always
not
extra
wrong.
time with them.
It is, isn't it?
Oh.
I think Belgium are sneaky. I know that's not fair shouting out one of the top teams in the world as a sneaky shout, but I don't think anyone's talking about them right now. I feel like
No,
everyone's...
because they've been spoken about before, and they let people down.
They let people down constantly. I think
I mean,
this is
they've
the
had
one...
Hazard, Lukaku, De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. I think, again, we're falling... Not we. They are falling to the end of their golden generation. Obviously, the Vertonghen's,
It's now or never.
Alderweirelds, De Bruyne. I think it is now or never. And I think they do have some extra young players now that can really click for them. Doku, specifically. I think Trossard can really make a big impact for them. Offensively, I think they might, and I'm open to hear other things. Offensively, I think Belgium might have some of the best talent in the world. Point blank, period. Like, they can roll out a front three or four that can go bar for bar with anyone.
With and the other one is, well, we say Holland, the Netherlands.
Netherlands, yeah.
I
Holland.
never know with them because they've never, the last few years, I mean, even their league as such, it was Ajax and
Feyenoord,
they're getting the Champions League quite far, but you don't see that anymore. I mean, their league must have gone down quite a bit in standards.
I mean, from the days of old of Ajax dominating Europe constantly, yes, of course, they
Cruyff
dropped
and
from
whatever.
there. And Ajax specifically
Nistelrooy.
have dropped. It happens when you lose such world-class players like
Bergkamp,
Antony.
you didn't throw him in, and you forgot about him,
I was
did you?
going to let him go. Yeah, Zlatan, there's another one. Suarez, I know, I got them. Trust me, I can play that game. But I think it's a different Ajax now. You look at Jordan Henderson's their captain, right?
Where did Tim Bob come from? Who did he coach?
Ajax.
It was Ajax.
It was Ajax. So they
all.
lost that, and then they lost great talent such as Antony, right? That's going to slow you down. I'm kidding. But yeah.
So who's your dark horse then?
I don't want to say Belgium because I think it's hard to pick a dark horse because I don't think there's a team that can really compete with some of these top nations. I really like England. England.
Germany being in Germany? Because they're starting to get better than they have been.
They're starting to get better. For me, it really depends on where they play people. Is Kimmich going to line up as a midfielder? Will he play right back? Are you going to play Havertz in the midfield? Will you play Havertz up top? Will you use Fulkrug as a target point? Are you going
Who's
to
their manager?
It's not Flick, is it? No, he's coaching Barcelona now.
You could have said anybody because I don't fucking
I don't know.
Just throw a German name out. I've gone, really?
Someone, I forget who's coaching Germany, but either way, it might be Flick. Honestly, I'm not sure. Either way, like, it just depends how they use their players. 'Cause I think Germany has the talent, but now I think they're lacking some of the experience that they had when they won their World Cup. And you look at it's a lot more younger players rolling through. Your Musialas, the days of Thomas Muller and Mario Götze kind of ending, right? Or Miroslav Klose, obviously legend for Germany at these international tournaments. Those are kind of, so who's going to step up?
See, I'm an old fucker. Gerd Muller.
Gerd Muller, that's a legend, right? There's another Muller for you. Yeah, good shout.
Is he dead?
I'm not sure.
Probably.
Anyways, what about you? Do you have a dark horse for the Euros?
Sorry?
Euro dark horse? Anyone for you? I really do like England. I really do like England in this tournament. I think talent-wise, they can match with anyone.
No, because, again, I've not been watching. I'm thinking, I mean, the two... England, France are the two favourites, are they not?
France, most likely, yeah.
So, I just want to get France again.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's get them and show
Any
them.
chance for Ronaldo in Portugal to make any noise?
Well, now we got Cole Palmer in there, so we don't have Harry Kane fucking up a penalty.
That's true.
We've got Cole Palmer.
You could start Foden on the
left. Did you
left.
see the penalty he took the other day?
I did not. I didn't watch England.
He was lucky to get where the goalkeeper got his hands to it. I mean,
Really?
he's still, he scored all
Who
of
was
them.
it,
but
Kane?
Kane's
Still going to take him.
Southgate, he wouldn't let Kane take it. Kane said, Kane was on the bench. He said, "Can I go on for the penalty?" And he said, "No."
That's where he stat pads. He loves he loves a good penalty goal.
Yeah, he does.
So I think England, talent-wise,
I'm just looking forward to the Euros. I mean, again, like the World Cup, it's every 4 years.
This could also be Ronaldo's last Euros too.
Paul about American Outlaw, what it's like supporting your country.
Yeah.
I mean, to go to a game of any sort, be it Arsenal, Chelsea, it's good, but when you're going to your country and everyone's around you and they're all singing, and like I said,
different.
There's not any American sports that I know of that you can really follow your country to that. I know there's hockey every 4 years at
hockey.
the Olympics.
I would say, Olympic hockey.
And that's it.
Yeah, I would. It's tough. It's tough to really. I mean, World Cup soccer, obviously, that's going to come up. But yeah, I'd say hockey really is. There is no USA football. There is. I mean, USA basketball at the Olympics as well. But let's be honest, we
cakewalk in it. Yeah,
we beat the shit out of everybody as we should.
Again, it's still getting a bit tough. You've got
Spain, Argentina,
the Serbians and
Luka. Luka Doncic making some noise. But again, when USA gets to roll out with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, names like Donovan Mitchell, like okay, yeah, fair enough.
As I said, I've been watching the Mavericks. I don't mind. I was watching the Stars until they.
Oh, I know, brutal.
But because when it's the playoffs, I don't mind watching it.
It's fun.
I'm not going to watch a game, especially with baseball. We watch a game and they can lose 20 games. It don't make any fucking difference.
Doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
There's too many games, actually.
Yeah, that's also why I think soccer is a little interesting.
Again, with soccer, the players are saying about going on strike, and they're right. They're getting played too much.
I think that the Nations League...
They might get millions, but it's going to be a 2 or 3 or 4 year career now.
Nations League should be scrapped. There's no need for it. The Nations League was such a stupid invention, money grab for play, and they don't give a fuck if they win that trophy. I'm sorry, like
no one wants it. Just when it's.
I think Portugal won it or something.
For me as a business, when there's games in the summer, it actually gets me through the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's
there's going to be a busy summer for you, yeah.
If there's, so I'm glad when there's but give them a rest for Christ's sake.
I agree.
I know it's a short.
Well, that's why I saw for France, Saliba obviously got called up for France for the Euros, but Deschamps has basically come out and said I won't be starting him. I don't really he's really good, but he hasn't the style of play. We're not going to use him that much. I'm like, hell yeah. Give my boy a rest. Give this guy a rest, because as a club fan, you don't want to see your players go get hurt in international duty.
I really am. They're getting played too much.
And it's too much. And Saliba played every minute of the Premier League. That's why there's so many
injuries now, more than there used to be, it seems to me.
It is. It does. ACLs too. It's more serious injuries.
Actually, I was driving because we get in here. This business here, the restaurant pub business, it's been hard to get staff.
Yeah.
There's staff out there, but believe you me, some of them, it's no point in having them. So it's been hard to get them. So, I think here now we've got some good staff.
You do.
In all the pubs, it takes a while. It's like a soccer team. It takes a while to build it, believe it or not, but it's no different. I was actually driving down Harry Hines the other day. You talk about hard to get staff. I was driving down Harry Hines, and there was a whorehouse. It said, now hiring.
Did you apply?
All positions.
Did you apply?
All positions. I thought, fucking hell, you go in there. Sorry, mate, we've only got, doggy style left. What do you mean all positions? I don't know. No, I didn't apply.
You didn't apply? I think they would have hired you.
I would have.
Side hustle.
There's a whorehouse. Do they take geezers and all?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been. You're the one that walked in. Anyways, I think that's, so Euros coming up, Copa America coming up, and the Olympics coming up. We do have Paul Franklin coming on, so I want to pivot to that. Paul's going to
my mate Emma Hayes.
Yes, Emma Hayes coaching the U.S. Women's National Team. We have Paul coming. We're going to talk about the U.S. Women's Team, the U.S. Men's Team. We're really going to dive into the Copa America coming up this summer. So stick around because that is coming up next. Hello and welcome into the interview section of our show. Today we are joined with American Outlaw Paul Franklin. Paul, thank you for being here today.
Excited to be here.
Thank you, man.
Say American Outlaw or they're called AO.
AO?
You ever been called AO before?
Yep. AO. Yeah.
Did you really? I've never heard...
the AO supporters groups, American Outlaws.
I've never heard it shortened like that.
Yeah,
genuinely. All right, so Paul, as an AO... There we go, see that? I'm using that. What's it like? What does it mean to be an American Outlaw? What does it mean to be a diehard supporter of the U.S. men's national team to you?
So, to me, being part of AO, and it's more of an organization to meet people, have fun, have a group to go to the games with, cheer, bang on the drums, have a blast. For me, I kind of...
It's an escape, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely escapism. And just to have that close-knit, I've gotten to the point where I've started traveling internationally with the group. Last year I went down to Trinidad and Grenada and those kind of things. So there's a core, I think we're up to about 30,000 members.
So it's an escape, but it's a costly escape.
It is a costly hobby. If you really get deep into it, it can be costly but fun.
But that's passion. That's passion, isn't it? We all spend money on stupid shit for ourselves that we love, don't we?
There's a cheaper way of escaping. He gets dressed up with women at weekends.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Makeup, it's a lot cheaper. Get dressed up as a woman.
I look better than him. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't need the makeup to look better than you, but I look better than you. And for the record, guys, no, I do not dress up as a woman on the weekend. That's not my thing. But thanks for that, Barry. Thanks for making me clarify that live on the podcast. I want to talk a little bit more about U.S. soccer. How did you kind of fall into soccer as a sport? I know that here in America, obviously, it's not the number one sport. It's not the NFL, right? So how did you kind of find this niche passion for yourself?
Kind of started when I was young, and '96 the Olympics were in Georgia, in Atlanta, and I grew up in Savannah. So
wait, for real?
Yeah,
I'm from Marietta, dude.
Oh, nice,
dude. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, Georgia boys. Sorry, go on.
So I was able to go see the women's national team from Savannah up to UGA and down to Orlando, were short drives, 4 or 5 hours. So we were able to go see those games. I was 10 at the time, so it was a blast. Definitely a life-changing experience, and kind of fell in love there. And
sorry, I'm interrupting you because I love it when they say it was a short drive, 4 or 5 hours. You can fucking drive around England in that time.
That's so funny for here in America. That's such a great cultural thing. It's like, dude, I could drive for 24 hours and still be in Texas if I wanted to.
Honestly,
like for me, it's like from here to Georgia is 12 hours, and Bear's like I could be halfway across the world by then.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You have to do it. But
it is really funny. Okay, so you started as a kid. Who were some of the names that were like on? I know obviously like there's some big ones, but like for you, were there any personal favorites of the team that really hooked you into the game?
I don't think I can point to one person back then that really hooked me into the game. At 10, I don't know if you're really following like one person. It was more of the allure of just like watching this team that had a chance, kind of this niche sport that no one really, and like you said, in the U.S. really cared about.
Yeah, it's just now really
blowing up,
blossoming.
Yeah.
Was it the women's team that first brought you into it with the World Cup being there? Going to see that?
I mean, I watched the '94 Olympics, but that was on the West Coast. Or not '94 World Cup, but that was on the West Coast. So the '96 Olympics was my first time to actually like go to a big game, go see it, and be part of that whole hype. So it was just because with everything happening in the early 90s with soccer in the U.S., I think I was just at the right age to just kind of fall into it. So, yeah, definitely not a single person that really pulled me in. It was just more of the piece. And then kind of went into college, kind of, had some friends that were big soccer fans from the U.K., wasn't definitely a diehard, like following the team, would watch during the World Cup kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Dallas is where I really became part of AO, part of, everything
we call
back
it Soccer City.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Getting there.
So it's definitely getting there. And, moving to Dallas in 2013, and that's really when it, like, really, I went a little crazy.
So would you say you as well, would you say it's the women's team that really put, not on the map, but it really did over here with a lot of Americans getting involved. I mean, obviously winning the World Cup like they did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easier, but
it's different.
Maybe it is. I would say easier. It's still hard.
I'm not going to say it's easier. I will say that the level of competition in the women's game as a whole is nowhere near the level of the men's game. Like, you look at like how good the teams are.
But what they've done for American soccer,
it's massive. No, I'm not taking anything away. Winning those World Cups, the success that it brought, the viewership it brought, the spotlight it brought to the game and the sport, and women's sports specifically, I think was incredible. But I would agree that like in a men's World Cup, the depth of talent per team is ridiculous. In the women's, we've seen games go 15-0.
Are you going to any of the games?
Yeah, we have the
Copa
America coming up.
I will be at every game our men's team plays in.
So you're traveling around the country.
So yeah, I will be at all of them. And just on your comment on the women's team, I think definitely that, especially nowadays, and this is one thing I think people don't look at it a lot. They're like, oh, well, why does our national women's team not doing as great as they used to? I think parity and depth of talent has grown with a lot of development across the world in women's sports, which is something that is needed, and I'm excited for it. Unfortunately, there's still some bad countries that are not supporting, I'm trying to think of the word, confederations that are not paying their teams as they should be, and people having to fight to just pay for the work that they did. But I think that talent pool is growing, hence why unfortunately the women aren't winning every World Cup anymore.
It's the same as the men's team. You've got more and more players playing in Europe, which obviously fucking helps. And then same with the women now. They're getting into they're in the Champions Leagues when they play. They get the experience there.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
I definitely agree. I think when the U.S. was winning their World Cups for the women, the talent pool in women's soccer was a much lower level, and we were able to kind of take advantage of that with the money and the effort and the talent we had put in. And now it's kind of like the rest of the world's caught up a little bit. Like other countries, your France's, your Netherlands, your Sweden's, your England's even, they're catching up and they're right there ready. Now it's the gap from USA to the rest of the world in women's soccer.
I don't think there's a gap anymore.
I don't think there's a gap anymore. No, it used to be us and Korea,
Well,
right?
with
Japan. Yeah, it used to be us. It used to be USA, Japan, and then there was a big jump. Now
obviously you've got Sweden, England,
France,
Spain.
Netherlands, Spain, Japan. It's closed a lot, which I think is better for the game.
I don't care who you are. Of course, you want your team to win it, but you don't want 5-0, 6-0.
It doesn't feel the same. It's so less rewarding when you just win every game so easily. It's like, okay,
I threw out 5-0 when I was saying 5. I threw out 5-0. You didn't mention Arsenal.
I've been really nice.
Because it was holiday 5-0. Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah,
right. That was last season. Now fuck off.
It was last season. It was actually the last time we played. Yeah,
right.
No, I love that you bring it up every time out and have to. Saves me the effort. All right, so let's go back into Copa America for the men's side this year. USA, how are we feeling? We're coming off the win in the tournament recently. The last one that was here in Dallas, actually, in the finals. That was a rocky road to get there, to barely beat Jamaica on the last second own goal and then crush Mexico in the final. Or Dos a Cero. It's like we dominated Mexico in that game, to be honest. So a little bit of momentum riding into this. Not the easiest group. I know you have your cheat sheet here, so you know who everyone is. We got Bolivia, we have Panama, and we have Uruguay.
Yep.
How do you feel about where we should finish in that group?
So I think it's going to come down to the Kansas City Uruguay game.
Completely agree.
I think we can win this group. It's going to be a tough fought road. Especially with Dest out and losing that. Losing that right back side is going to be hard.
He was brilliant against Mexico too.
But we got Shaq Moore. Maybe is
Suarez still playing international football?
I think he's still playing with Uruguay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not going to be an easy. None of these matches are going to be easy matches. We can't go in and play.
Respectfully, Bolivia should be easier. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, but if we don't destroy Bolivia, I have no hope for us to destroy it.
I'll tell you what, you just got rid of all our Bolivia fans.
Sorry, Bolivia. I think Bolivia fans would tell you that they don't.
This podcast is big in Bolivia.
Is it now?
It's
about to be canceled. I'm about to be canceled all over Bolivia. But I think even Bolivia fans would tell you that they have little no hope to beat us in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
My worry is sometimes that first game, we come out a little rusty, kind of like we did against Jamaica.
I feel like that was in the lineup, though, wasn't it?
It was a little bit of a
really weak lineup out for the Jamaica game.
Are you happy with the manager? Oh, there we go.
Let's get there because we were gonna get there, so let's get there. For those that don't know about the U.S. manager situation, the current manager is Greg Berhalter. He was also the manager 2 managers ago, where his contract ran out and we decided not to re-sign him because, quote, he wasn't really the level that we were looking for. So we go find another coach. Players seem to love him. He gets fired, doesn't work out. So we're looking for an improvement. And what do we decide is the improvement? Oh, Greg Berhalter, who we had literally already told to walk away because he wasn't good enough, and now apparently he's our coach again. So, with that background being shared for our audience, Paul.
So, his contract wasn't renewed, and then it was BJ Ball as interim. There was never really a coach in between, and then back to Greg. But I think as USA fans, we have the worst expectation. We have the expectation that we're going to lose every game because we're the worst team in the world, and the same expectation that we need to win the World Cup. We should win the World Cup because we're the best team in the world.
Facts.
It's a very American way to look at things.
If you ain't first, you're last, baby. It ain't nothing more American than Ricky Bobby, I'll tell you
right.
what.
My thing is
America.
who is like? There's
what the hell was that?
Oh, no, I don't like when they say America. What did they say that?
America.
Oh, for fuck's sake, put in front, wanker. America. Anyway, go on.
It's a hard thing. He's done well for the team. I mean, he's I pulled it on my cheat sheet: 43, 14, and 12. But
competition though.
I agreed. It is CONCACAF, but CONCACAF is what we got.
Yeah, you can have players in front of you.
And what? Sure, would I love a better coach? Yeah, why not? But who wouldn't? But who also is going to deal with? I think the one thing we don't look at as fans is while I'm definitely not a Greg like diehard supporter.
I don't think there's any American fans that would claim to be that. Honestly,
he is our coach, and he is going to be the coach for 26. And who
Are
else?
you for sure about that? Say we don't get out of this group. Say we beat Bolivia, draw against Panama, lose to Uruguay, and we finish third in the group and don't get through. Do you still rock with him for the World Cup? Because that is an embarrassing to not get out of this group.
I agree. It would be very embarrassing to get out of the group. I don't know who wants to touch U.S. soccer as a coach with 26 being on the line because of how much you can't. It's going to be, unless you make a deep run in the World Cup, you can't win in 26, being on your home soil and everything. Now, I think we should make a deep run with, especially the talent we have, but
and coming of age a little bit too, some of these guys.
And so, I think that's our biggest problem right now in the U.S. is I don't know if there's a lot of people that, no matter how much money you throw at them, would want to be that coach. And
the women's team has just got a great coach.
Oh,
they're going the right way.
I wish the men's team was run like the women's team in the United States.
In
they
fact,
are
the men's
run
team,
so well.
They should have got Emma.
I would have taken her. See how she does at the Copa. Let her give her the World Cup. She's brilliant.
We're all very excited for Emma Hayes.
For those that don't know, Emma Hayes, former coach of Chelsea's women's team, has made the switch and joined the U.S. men's national team. So she's now the head coach for us. We had a win last night.
I said to her, because I was reading, she said she didn't realise how much she needed a change.
Really?
Yeah, she said she was happy to now. She said, well, now I'm here. Sort of like, a year or so ago, whatever. But no, it's good. It's good to see it. I mean,
I think it's huge for the United States too, growing the game. She's a top coach in the women's game, and to have her come here.
If you had a choice, I mean, I'm not saying a choice of any manager because you'd get Pep, but who would you like to have for the American team? Anybody in particular, or just a good European manager maybe?
I hear Pochettino's available.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have like a hard pick. I'm not a big of like, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? We kind of have to play with the cards we're dealt, and this is the cards that we have right now. Luckily, we have some amazing players. Again, the lineup card is key. But as we all know, and any coach you're gonna hit is a tournament's a deep game, and you want to make sure everyone's fresh, healthy, deeper in the tournament. So like. Agreed, Jamaica card was not.
It was a bad move.
It was a bad move.
We should have lost that game, and that would have been down to his lineup.
Was it? He didn't put the right players in?
Well, so Jamaica was missing some players. They're missing Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey, some of their better stars, right? They were injured. Premier League season was still going on. They weren't going to play. So Greg rolled out basically USA's B team for that first game of Copa America. Game goes on 0-0. Jamaica steals a goal, goes up 1-0, and then the USA scored. Actually, Jamaica scored an own goal in the very last kick of the match.
I think before
USA
you
won
put a
an extra
B team
time.
in of any sort, make sure you're through to the next round.
That's again. I think that was just a little, not much overconfidence as much as ignorance, honestly, by Greg to think that he can get away with that. But again,
so overconfidence and ignorance is the same as fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It was stupid to roll that lineup out against Jamaica and try to save people. Yeah, fair enough. I was trying to be nice, but yeah.
But in a tournament like Copa or the World Cup, you're gonna have to roll people in positions that are not 100% what we want to do. I mean.
You have to rely on depth.
Because you can't do your same.
It is Matt Turner. It's still Matt Turner. Yeah. It'll be. It will be Matt Turner.
Was he playing for Forest towards the end or not?
He was back and forth. He obviously moved to Forest at the start of the year from Arsenal. Was expected to be the number one. They brought in that Greek guy from Benfica, and then they kind of went back and forth. And I think towards the end of the season, it was still Turner mostly. But again, it was not a clear number one either way there.
It's funny because I like. Is it Rayner?
Gio Reyna?
Yeah, I like him actually. I don't know why. When he plays for USA, he seems to fit in and do it. But
do you know his story about him and his dad and how the coach and the beef? Yeah, so he was actually the young player of the tournament at the last tournament that we won. He was brilliant. Golden assist in the final, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Him and the head coach don't get along. His father and the head coach don't get along. Yeah. It is very middle school drama. For a platform as big as the U.S.
He's putting him in though, isn't he? I mean, I know he's
just start at the World Cup. Yeah. He couldn't have paid him to play. It was ridiculous. And no offense to the rest of the team that he did play, they are not as talented as Gio Reyna. They will not make the difference Gio Reyna would have made. And I think that all U.S. fans can conclusively agree to that. And if someone doesn't agree to that, I'm happy to have a chat. That being said,
and he just got engaged.
Did he really?
See, you remember
I don't follow him on socials, apparently.
He's there saying I'm the best American fan that's ever fucking lived.
How do you know that Gio Reyna got engaged?
I got invited.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Send pictures. But yeah, so Gio Reyna, I think that he's kind of past that, whatever you want to call it, stage with the manager now, hopefully.
I think they're in a
better stage in the World Cup.
Yeah, and...
Well, they both need each other now, don't they?
I think Greg needs Gio more than Gio needs Greg.
I think it always comes down... The player, I mean... A coach, again, kind of going back to what we were talking about, is the coach, their biggest input is obviously training depth, all of those pieces. But once the card's in, at the end of the day, it's the players on the field. So as long as we can get the right card in, right 11, get everybody set up, going, I think at the end, it's going to be up to the boys on the field. So, there's with Gio there and, how he's played off with, Balgan and
Haji, right? Haji's really come into his own. Balogun's been incredibly disappointing for the last year, genuinely. Yeah. I'll say it.
He's
even at Monaco. He's been a complete fall off.
I mean, obviously you've got American Outlaws across America, and you all keep in touch with each other, and you got this. I don't know. I mean, social media and what have you. I mean. When you're going to a game, just say we're going to a game and you all go together, or you just meet when you're there, or
just a quick overview of the structure. So there's a national organization that has a set of leaders and groups, board about 5 people. It's not very big, and then each city has a chapter.
Okay.
So I'm the president of the Dallas one. There's a Fort Worth chapter. They're trying to start a chapter up in Collin County, kind of close to McKinney and the it's Lake Wiley up there.
Yeah.
I don't get up that far.
You're all good. You're all good.
So, and then got Austin and everything. So kind of the chapter. So for the Dallas game, we'll host that event. We'll have a tailgate. We'll have the night before party at your nice pub here, and so everybody kind of gets together. All the people travel in from out of town. And then we go from there. So you just kind of hop from town to town and go from there.
And people just, is it something you join or you get a card saying you're a member?
How can someone that wants to get involved, that they're listening to this and they go, damn, Paul sold that really well. The AO sounds sick. How can I find out?
I did.
And Barry's super cool too is what they're thinking. There you go. But how can someone find that and get involved?
It's theamericanoutlaws.com. And then it's, I think it's like $30 a year. You get t-shirt, scarf, some stickers.
Is the t-shirt cool? How cool is the t-shirt?
It depends on the year. Okay. This year I like t-shirt.
What's the coolest t-shirt?
I've always been a salesman. I've always sold, and and I'm good at promotions. I think you should get a t-shirt, a scarf, and a wank. For $30, I'll fucking join.
I think. Yep. All right. Well, that could be a felony. Anyways,
the biggest thing that any supporters group brings is tickets to the game and having those tickets I don't know if you guys heard all the drama. They did not want to do supporter sections. CONMEBOL did not. They sent us a link out to our national team, and they were going to pull it and just say, no, we don't want to do supporters. It was going to come down to money. Because they could sell the tickets more for just general admission than they could for a group
deal's cheaper, basically.
Yeah, so it took a while for our national organization, with the help of U.S. Soccer and others, to get a supporter section. But even then, they're not letting us bring in drums, banners, anything.
I think that's so backwards. I think that kind of takes away. I think that's why other countries look at America and soccer and think, oh, these chumps, right? Because so money driven, so business driven, to the point where you're taking away from the atmosphere just to raise a couple extra $1,000. Let's be extra $1,000 probably.
I'm really worried about the World Cup ticket pricing. I think a lot of people are, because I have not been lucky enough to travel to a World Cup yet. So this is going to be fun. But as you know, the tickets are very affordable.
I was in Brazil and it was not a problem. We went half of my soccer team at the time, and we all went to one game together, and then there were 2 different games we had to basically split up, but we had no problem getting 5 tickets each.
Is the ticket is to stay somewhere, is the traveling?
Well, here's the thing that I'm concerned about, and I think that you might be able to relate to this too, and you might have even seen this as well. In American culture recently, big events such as the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals are coming up here. Obviously, they're in Dallas. Go Mavs for that. Rooting for them here. Big for the home city. But they've become, instead of just a sporting event, they've become a social gathering for the who's who. Yep. They've become an elitist party almost to attend, and you see the Super Bowl ticket prices, right, and the millions for a booth, and it's hundreds of thousands for a regular seat.
It always has, but that gets me because your
it
true supporters that go to every game.
That's what I'm saying. Those that want to come with the drums and the banners and the scars that would stand for 3 hours, well, they might not be able to afford the $10,000 ticket in the lower bowl in that what would be the supporters section. So I'm really hoping, and I think that obviously you're experiencing that right now, and that's the concern for you that you're mentioning. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But is that sports and soccer in America, it would slowly move to an elitist category like the Super Bowl, like where the World Cup would be. And I don't want that at all because I feel like that would take away from so many fans.
Agreed. That is definitely a worry to have it turn into this massive event in 26 to bring the spotlight, bring all of these kids that, because really at the end of the day, to grow soccer in America, it's the 10-year-olds, the 12-year-olds.
It's the whole package. It's going in, get the atmosphere. You're saying they're not going to let banners in and flags and...
No, that was one of the things when I went to the World Cup, it was the atmosphere was so cool. I was fortunate enough to attend Portugal versus Germany. Got to see, obviously, Germany won the World Cup that year in 2014, and Ronaldo play. And just the atmosphere from the German fans here and the Portuguese fans here, and the screaming and the yelling, the whistles, the chants, the band... It's what makes the sport, and the more you take it away, the harder it'll be for people to attach themselves to it.
Yeah, and
because it's becoming big business, big money, that's all they look at. They're not looking at what builds it and how it got that way, and it's all a little bit of this and a bit of that is what makes it. It's not just a fucking game.
Tell that to Todd Bowley. Tell that to Chelsea's owner. Goddamn, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bash Chelsea, but he is the American owner. That's kind of I will bash Chelsea. You're right.
I'll fucking join you on that one.
Yeah, damn right. But he is trying to take away. Hell, when he came to the Premier League, he suggested a fucking All-Star game.
No.
I'm sorry, but buddy, they want to Americanize the sport so much, and they don't recognize that the success for the sport is founded in the roots that are not the American.
Without getting into it now, but we'll talk about it another time, because I just saw that the Man City people, they're fighting the
they're
Premier
in a
League.
lot of trouble. Everyone's leaving. But they're so going to get in trouble, like the way I'm seeing in reports.
You're fighting against a country.
Well, you see what I'm seeing. De Bruyne. Let's read between the lines here. So we'll come back to the US soccer. We'll dive into the Premier. Pep has said he wants to leave next year. De Bruyne has openly talked about joining the Saudi. That's what I'm getting to. So De Bruyne has openly talked about he's open to the Saudi league as well as a move to the new MLS club San Diego, where Lozano actually is joining. Holland has even mentioned that he might not renew his contract. If you read between the lines, every important figurehead at Man City seems to want to push to the exit door, which tells me there's something big and bad coming through.
Well, what I was saying about this fair play shit going on, now they said they're going to fight about sponsorship and how they do the money and that.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia owns the team. You can't fight that, and the EPL is going to lose. Yeah. And then what's going to happen now? Eventually, it's going to ruin everything over there.
I mean, it's been happening.
And they don't care because they want to go to Saudi Arabia. It's been happening
since, and I'm sorry to admit, it's the Abramovich era. In the 2000s, 03, 04, he was putting 130 million into transfers, which even now is obscene money. But back then, it was obscene money, and it just kind of changed the landscape. And Man City have only furthered that for their own benefit. Hurts everybody else.
So American players that are going to Europe, they need to get and play for Man City just for a year, then get out. Okay?
Hey, you had Stefan. They had one. They had one American for a while.
He won a couple Colchester next year after.
Yeah, literally. I'd say enjoy the away days down League 3.
What grounds are you going to? I know you said Kansas is one of the games. I don't know where they're being played.
So kickoff game here is here in Dallas for the U.S. team for Bolivia.
I've got to be honest, is it?
Yeah, it is. I'm working it. It's either the 21st or 23rd.
And who is it?
Bolivia.
Oh, is that the one?
And then we play Panama and Atlanta, and then we go to Kansas City for the
Uruguay game, which should be the group decider, assuming we both.
So the one in Kansas, is it a soccer field, or is it where the Chiefs play?
All of them are the
because
stadiums.
The amount of people.
AT&T is a soccer field. They physically do replace the field, so it is a soccer field.
No, I get that, but
stadium, yes.
I don't like big venues like that for any game. I can never afford to sit next to. I'm right up in.
Don't worry, I don't pay to go there either. I just go there to work it. So that's my ticket.
Hey, do you ever? I don't know if you could do this. I don't know if I said this before. If you go to the old theatres in London, and the cheap seats, they're right up there, and the seats, they don't just go like that, slope up gradually. They just go from, the nice seats, and they just go up like that. And you're on the 5th floor, so to speak. Yeah. So when you're looking down, you actually can't see the front of the stage.
Oh, jeez.
You really can't.
Yeah.
So that's the seats I fucking always used to get. Anyway, and I always remember some comedian came on. He went right to the front of the stage. He went, oi, all you lot on the cheap seats. He said, can you see me? And they all went, no. He said, good.
I mean, there are cheap seats. AT&T has their standing room only, which I've worked there for many years, obviously, and every time they open the doors, it's like World War Z, that movie, where just all the zombies run in, like people by the masses.
But what you do, you sit there and you watch it on that jumbo
exactly.
thing,
You're watching on the TV at that point.
Well, do you watch that? I mean, you kind of have to, don't you? It's so fucking big.
I mean, I think one of the fun things about soccer, and I think hockey is another sport where being behind the goal is actually one of the best seats. You get to see the play develop. You get to see everything happening. Sure, when the game's on the other side, it's a little bit harder to see how everything's working on the other side of the field. But just to be there to watch that cross happen from right behind the goal is one of the best feelings. Like, I got goosebumps thinking about it.
There you go. Look at that. He's so ready. He's so ready for this tournament to start up.
Well, and then if we win the group, we go to Vegas. And I mean...
What's the option if we don't win the group? Where do we go? If we
Phoenix.
Second.
We're at Phoenix Glendale.
God, that's a much worse trip.
Yes.
That's a much less fun trip than Vegas. So,
and then,
do you know who we would play if the groups?
So it's Brazil. It's Brazil's group. So if we win, most likely Brazil's going to be
the first. And
so
probably play.
So Brazil most likely will go to Phoenix because that's the first place winner of theirs.
And who's second?
That would probably be.
If you win, you get the second team.
Yeah.
It would probably be. Is it Colombia, Costa Rica, or Paraguay? Most likely Colombia.
Yeah.
Colombia.
So we'd play again. If we win, and that's how their group, we would play Colombia there, and then if we win that, we would go to Charlotte and then what's funny is the third place game is also in Charlotte. So if we make it to Charlotte, we stay in Charlotte. If not, we head down to Miami. So, but that's kind of how our side of the bracket works. The other side of the bracket,
Hey, if we're avoiding Argentina, we're great. If we're avoiding Argentina, we're grateful.
we do not have to play Group A or B until
that is so important
till the final.
Well, Group B.
Assume. I mean, you've got to get out your group first.
Yes, obviously. Right? We all play the whole tournament.
Nothing. I mean, I've seen it with England. I mean, I was one year when they didn't even make the fucking World Cup.
Do we have? Do you have a surprise team for Copa America that's not the United States that you think could shock some people? You as well, Barry. If you have a country that you think could make some noise.
Not really.
Not really.
Well, I didn't have time to think about it, so I said not really.
I don't think so because I think
a
lot of people are thinking Mexico might make it out of the group. I don't think Mexico's making it out of the group.
I'll tell you what I think. I think Canada is scary. I think Canada with a healthy Alphonso Davies could be healthy Alphonso Davies, healthy Jonathan David. Their group with Chile and Peru, I think they could maybe sneak in second and make some noise. Just because I don't think Group B is great between Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, and Venezuela. I think that if Canada can finish second in Group A and play the winner of Group B, I think they could pull an upset.
Do you know what's good about when we get the Euros, the Copa America? You don't realise how many different people are over here. I mean, we'd have a game in here and we get all these people with a flag I've never seen in my fucking life.
Yeah.
You know.
But that goes to speak a little bit more about just how big it is in the area, but not only that, but how important the Londoner is.
Who's showing, which channel's showing the Copa? I mean, is it Paramount or is it ESPN?
It might be Paramount. It's so hard to keep up, man. I'm sorry. There's so many streaming services. You don't care. You're going to be there. You don't care.
It makes a difference to me because certain stations, a lot of people don't have it at home, will come down the pub and watch it.
Typically,
could be on HBO Max.
Typically, Paramount Plus has USA games. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to be in the stadium, so I haven't even thought about that yet.
I just want you to go. I mean, obviously, you're not going to fucking win it. But
you never do.
I'm not. I like to be honest.
We're not better than
in
Brazil.
fact, he's going to cancel his fucking trip now. That's no point, is there?
I have all my tickets on hold all the way, hotels all the way through.
Oh, you're locked in.
But it's kind of one of those things you book it early and then you just cancel it. So
we do have to wrap this conversation up a little bit, but I do want to get a final prediction on what would be a good Copa America for the USA and where do you think we'll actually finish?
I think a good Copa is we make it to Charlotte.
Okay. All the way to the Final Four.
Make it to the Final Four. And
hang on. Fucking Final Four? It's a semis.
Semis,
Final Four. No, Final Four is a real
they do
American
mean the same thing, Barry. They do literally mean the same thing.
But I think that... but to your point about Brazil, depending on how the group drops, I mean, let's say Brazil has a slip up and they come out second.
Who's favorite? Is it Brazil or Argentina?
Argentina. Argentina's favorite. Brazil obviously second, and then genuinely probably us, Mexico, or Canada, or Uruguay.
Yeah. So I think it's going to come down. The way the ball drops, everything. Hits a couple strokes of luck. But if I'm hoping we play Brazil and Charlotte. That is
the goal. That's the goal.
Is there a possibility? I'm sure there is, but the way they grouped them. the final could be Argentina-Brazil.
Yes, it could. Ideally, ideally that's how it's set up. I think every soccer fan, even us Americans here, would be like, okay, shit, that's pretty cool.
We got with the Champions League just finished the final. We were packed here.
Oh, you would
absolutely. I mean, but it rained. 15 minutes before the game, we could have had the patio, and it would have eased it.
People will camp outside for the Argentina-Brazil final.
I was at the front, and I should have told people, sorry, we're full. I don't like to do it. They come down to the watch. Oh, fucking go on and get in. Yeah, it was horrible. You know, but we can't serve them. When we get that busy,
no, yeah, you can't. Well, also, there's just too many people.
And we got one wanker get online and gave us 1 star. I think it came after.
What a sad little life.
But I think it came afterwards, and the place was a mess. I mean, there's beer bottles everywhere.
Well, yeah, because it's
the
rain
outside.
A giant party and rain.
And we just got 200 people in a space of an hour, and we've had to feed them and drink them and tell them to fuck off. And but how are you? Fucking 1 star.
I know those reviews wind you up.
Luckily, I was going to answer him because when you read it, you want to fucking bother. He said, fuck off, don't come back. He said, I'm never going there again. I was going to say, fucking good.
Great. Cheers.
But I didn't.
That's
but if
okay.
you're listening, fucking good.
There you go. Don't come back if you're listening. All right. My prediction, I think a good group I think winning the group is so important for us. I think if we can win the group, that would be a very big step for us because beating Uruguay, I know it's on home soil. They're a really good country.
If you don't, I mean, how much damage would that do to American football?
If we don't win the group or don't get out of the group?
Don't get out of the group. How much damage?
If we don't get out of the group, I will be on the front line calling for Greg Berhalter to be fired immediately because I'm not taking a coach to the World Cup that can't get out of a group with Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. I'm sorry, that's not good enough for the standards and the quality we have as well.
I think there will be a lot of pitchforks and fires if we don't make it out of the group. And if it comes down to where if we show up at that Kansas City game with kind of like, we're definitely, unfortunately, we're going to be second. I think that also will be a little hard to go into that game.
I want us to front foot against Uruguay. If we need to be a bigger team now.
Say what though, you know yourself. If you have to go in, if it goes down to the last game of the group, whether you stay in or not, it's a fucking horrible game to watch.
Well, hopefully the thing is we'll both be fighting just for the top spot at that point. Yeah. Ideally, based on obviously, look, no disrespect to Panama and Bolivia, they could make noise. They could make me look like an idiot right now. Ideally, it's us playing for top spot in that last group, and I would like to see us not sit back and just play for a counter or something.
If you know you're already through, then go for it.
I want to go. Also, I want to see us just go for it a little bit more against some of these bigger clubs in recent times for USA. At least, like you look at the World Cup against the Netherlands when we lost in that knockout game. I feel like in big games for us, we sit back so much. We play with so much fear.
Who's the youngest player you got in your group? Because they just had a 15-year-old score for the women last night.
And for the USA?
For the men's...
I don't even know who the youngest is. We have some teenagers. There's a 14-year-old that got signed by Man City from Philadelphia, but he's not a national team player yet.
But he's not in there yet. You don't know who your youngest player is?
I mean, we have a lot of youth talent.
I'd have to look... because most of our good young players are all prepping for the Olympics right now, and I don't think we have any U23
That's the thing.
players on
that. Going to take any to this or send them there.
Yeah, because we have to cut this 27-man roster. We got to cut it down to 25 for Copa, something like that.
I'd cut Greg off of it, make it 26 right now. I'll make it 26 right now. You send Greg home.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll call it there. I think this has been a great interview. Really helpful. Help a lot of us.
It's going to be a good tournament, no matter what.
It's going to be a great tournament.
For us, we've got the Euros during the day. Then the evening we got the Copa and soccer heaven here.
And then the Olympics coming up too. So
we didn't make the Olympics. Our women's team.
England?
No, it's
USA?
not England. No, it's United Kingdom.
Okay.
It's England, Ireland, and Scotland. So
there will be plenty of soccer this summer. I want to give a big thank you again to Paul Franklin for coming on the show with us, getting us prepped for that Copa America. USA starts it off June 21st against Bolivia here in Dallas, right?
AT&T,
June 23rd.
23rd, sorry. I'm working a different game on the 21st. That's different countries. June 23rd here in Dallas, USA plays Bolivia.
See what I've got to work with? He's fucking useless. I have to work with this every week.
Yeah. What day does USA play again, Barry?
Who?
What day does the USA?
Why would I fucking look at that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. You didn't know. I just said it 3 times. Paul, thank you for being here. June 23rd, USA Bolivia kicks off Copa America for us. Plenty of soccer in the summer, and we'll be here to bring you all more. We'll be here with you all the way to walk you through it. Thanks, guys. And a big thank you again to Paul Franklin for joining us there. American Outlaws, get involved.
America!
America. There, see, Barry was ready. He knew. Get involved. He mentioned where you can find them, AmericanOutlaws.com. If you're interested, please get involved. Great organization, fun times, great people. Barry, we got to wrap up. And I know we don't have much soccer going on right now, but you do have a wanker of the week for us.
Well, no, a minute ago when we were off air, is that the phrase?
There you go.
We said, what's the wanker of the week? And you said, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've got to come up with one.
So did you.
I will come up with a potential wanker of the week. How's that?
That works for me.
And I can't say his name. I'm no good with names. Greg Berhalter.
Greg Berhalter?
Yeah. No,
Greg
remember the American manager.
The American coach?
Yeah, he's the potential wanker of the week.
I like
because
that.
if he don't get through his rounds...
If he doesn't get through his group,
there's no way in the world they're going to keep him for the World Cup.
No. Actually, I love that shout. That's a terrific
potential.
shout. Greg Berhalter, he's on the hot seat for wanker of the week. How about that?
The hot seat?
The hot seat, yeah. Have you ever heard that phrase?
Yeah, I fucking heard it.
Okay, then why do you look so confused?
Because I'm thinking potential or hot seat. Which one is better? Go with hot seat.
We'll go hot seat to be the wanker
Sounds
of the
like
week.
The name
He's
of
right
hooker.
there.
Hot seat.
I don't know what
Hey,
hookers you're getting with, but we'll call it there, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. We apologize for the week.
Hey, if I don't mention the word hooker, I'm lost.
No,
that's all I talk about.
You're going to hear the word hooker on this podcast. It happens.
That's my word of the year.
There it is. There's the word of the week, hooker.
Word of the week, hooker.
We'll end on that.
And
Guys,
next week.
We'll be back next week. We're going to do more episodes. We're going to follow along all summer with Copa America, with the Euros, with the Olympics. So make sure you stick with us because we're going to be here with y'all all summer. Thank you again.